It's my Wendy Williams cup. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Jeremy and welcome to Friday's video. This is going to be a question that has been long overdue to be answered. And this is from Tumblr. It is from Andy White, who asked me about how I am dealing with the fact that my parents are unsupportive of my relationship and how to cope with that. In my case, my parents are completely unsupportive. Hopefully someday that will change. So today I want to talk to you guys out there who are dealing with this in any kind of form and tell you guys how I deal with it. I know this video topic may not apply to everybody, but I suppose that in some ways you could apply it to other facets of your life. For me, I think more so how I cope with the fact that my parents are totally unsupportive is realizing the most important thing is that I am myself, and nobody in this entire world can make me feel inferior without my consent. Nobody can make me feel something unless I let them do it. And I think a lot of parents would like to say that you are their child and they're just looking out for you and they want the best for you. Great, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm your child. Can you please just be happy for the fact that I am happy, not that I am doing something that you're not happy with. And I think once you can get past that into a point where you are in the mindset of my parents need to be happy for me because I'm their kid, they can't do that, so I'm better off without that negativity in my life. I think once you can get past that, then I think that really opens up doors to help you cope with that. I don't know if I'm making any sense with all my rambling here. Communication is a huge thing in any kind of relationship. The communication line is like a house that you live in, and you have your door locked because you don't want people coming in that aren't supposed to be there. The people outside can come and knock anytime they want, and if they come to that door, you can let them in if you choose to do so. And I think that's another thing, is setting up boundaries, is that if you have parents that are unsupportive of things that you're doing, is to set up those boundaries and to set up a house for yourself and say, this is mine. You aren't allowed in here, and you don't control me in any form. I'm not going to let you just barge in here and make a mess out of my home, because your sanity is the inside of your house. So if you don't want your parents to control your life and to mess things up, then you just need to set those boundaries, and that they can knock on the door at any time they want, but that they aren't free to just come in and mess up everything and to screw up your life, because really that is what's going to happen. And that's what my parents have been trying to do, is they've been trying to barge into my home and stir things up and get things dirty so that I go into panic chaos mode. That is a huge step, is setting up boundaries. I think the final thing that I want to stress is that your mother, if she's still in a part of your life in any way, your mother took you for 9 months in her body and carried you around. You have a very special bond with your mom. That bond will never change, and if your mom doesn't accept you for something that you're doing, sooner or later she will change her mind, because you are a part of her. You came out of her. Your dad will always have a special bond with you because he's your father, but he didn't hold you. Believe it or not, your parents have a lot of influence on each other in some way or another, and I think that if anything is going to change with how your parents treat you, it's going to start with your mom, and your dad will probably be next, because men are, for the most part, pretty unemotional, or they are emotional and they just put a lot of guards around that so that you don't see it and that you can't experience it in any way. And so I think that for change to happen, which I believe will happen, I don't believe that there are any parents in this whole world that can just say, like my parents have said, don't come back until you're better. Like other parents who say, you can live under my roof, but I don't accept you, don't tell me about any of it, don't bring anybody over, I don't care. I don't think that there's any way that a parent can do that to their kid for 20, 30, 40 years and never change their mind. Or at least be more open-minded to say, you're still my kid, I still love you, I want to be a part of your life in some way. I don't think there's any way that that can't happen. So I think the final thing that I want to stress is holding on to hope that something will eventually change, and that you are going to eventually have your family back. But your family is not your life. You and the relationships that you create around you, that is your life. What you choose to put in your home, that is your life. And so just keep in mind that no one can affect you unless you let them into your house. And if your parents are stirring up things for you and are ruining your life and ruining your relationships and trying to just make you feel so inferior, don't let them do it anymore. Lock the door. And that would be the best advice that I can give. And I'm not necessarily the best authority for this, so look around for other people who have other situations and other stories that can give you advice as well. And find ways of making this technique your own, because I am who I am and nobody else is the same way as me. So what works for me may not work for you or somebody else or the person next door or the person across the world. It's all relative to your situation, who you are, where you live, and what your family dynamic is like. But just always remember that you are the only person in your life who can affect yourself. If other people are affecting you, don't let them do it anymore. You are stronger than that, and you are worth so much more than that than to let anybody else tell you that you are not as good as what you really are. So that is the best advice that I can give for today, and I hope that this was helpful. I'm sorry it took so long to answer this, and I will talk to you guys all for the rest of the week and for the rest of the month and year and lifetime. Peace out. Thick and months.